Inspector.
Oh, Mr. Forbes.
Inspector Dawson said I might find you here.
When he doesn't know where I am, this is the first place Jim looks. I come here frequently, and I'm sure Jim thinks it quite morbid of me, but... have you ever visited the Black Museum before, Mr. Forbes?
No.
Actually, it was started as a school to train new detectives, but the public seems to have adopted it as a sort of tourist attraction. We have relics of crimes here dating back more than half a century. That skull, for instance, a murder victim. A young girl named Mary Sedgwick. She was slain by some demented man who dismembered her body, burying parts of it all over London. I worked in the case as a young constable more than 30 years ago. The killer was never found.
Inspector.
And in here we have some blood-stained clothing from the first victim of that madman the press refers to as Jack the Ripper. Is there a clue in those rags which might lead us to the murderer? Perhaps. If only we could see it. Then here we have some of the poison used by one Dr. Velasquez, a young, charming, and very deadly physician who killed more than a dozen men and women after ensuring their lives in his favor. And so it goes. The relics of the crimes the Yard has solved, and those that remain unsolved.
This is all very interesting, Inspector, but I'm in something of a hurry, and...
Of course, how thoughtless of me. What can I do for you, Mr. Forbes?
Well, I've just come from a meeting with Mr. Latimer. The Opera House is going to reopen, within the week, we hope. But we must have some guarantee that there will be no more trouble.
Guarantee, Mr. Forbes?
Well, if we open only to reclose because of the sort of things which have been happening, we face financial ruin.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid I can offer no guarantee.
But there must be something you can do, Inspector. Surely the Yard isn't completely helpless?
Much as I hate to admit it, Mr. Forbes, there are times when it is.
Inspector.
Look around, you'll see for yourself. The killer of Mary Sedgwick, the butcher known as Jack the Ripper, and a dozen more I could tell you about. None has been apprehended, and I'm sure there never will be. I'm not a particularly superstitious man, Mr. Forbes. But there are times when I've come to wonder if there aren't certain crimes which weren't meant to be solved by the police. Violent dramas which seem to have a life cycle of their own that defies disruption and play themselves out to their own preconceived and unalterable end. We intrude, but that's all we are. Intruders. We fumble, we grope. But it is as if we were coping with a destiny that will abide no thwarting. I believe that's what we have here, Mr. Forbes. A drama which we can only watch unfold and play out to whatever ending has already been written, in which we can neither erase nor change to our liking.